Right then, welcome back, and yes, it's been a while. I've had a nightmare. I lost a hard drive with loads of kit on it, so everything I'd spent months recording went, and my laptop went on the fritz, so I had no laptop to do anything, and then I got locked out of my account, so we've had a... If it could have gone wrong, it has gone wrong. But anyway, we're going to finish off this Rivale, this 2016 Rivale. Yeah, 2016 MV Agusta Rivale 800. And we're going to make a few changes as well, but we'll talk about them at the end. We went to Okayama GP for the penultimate race, and we almost made a mess of it off the start. R7 absolutely horrendously slow off the line, but what it created was a very enjoyable little trip through the field where there was no touch whatsoever, Mr. Referee, Speedy. No contact whatsoever with any of motorcycles. Nobody was nerfed off by elbows or knees or foot pegs or handlebars. And what we got to do was use the MV Rivale 800 properly. Very, very good acceleration, very good around the bends, plenty of grip, although we did have to click the traction control just up to 1. We made, I believe that was a Suzuki, might have been an MV, we made them put the brakes on. Then we come up against, I think it's a GSXR 1000, a K1, but our big wide handlebars allowed us to lever underneath him, and then we're into the bit of the track that's a bit bumpy and lumpy and jumpy, and we're all over the shop. But our semi-off-road Rivale, I mean, I don't quite know what it's supposed to look like. The styling's a bit weird. We'll talk about that at the end. What it hasn't got is loads of grunt. Goodbye, Mr. Aprilia Tuono 1100. I wish I had your power. But yeah, apart from a lack of straight line speed, it's not bad on the brakes, although we went in deep, way too deep. But because of the traction control being on, we did manage to wrestle it back just a touch. I really don't get on with this bit of the track. And try as we might, by the time we got to the end of lap 3, we weren't quite there, and we were pushing. We were really pushing. That front tyre was not enjoying its job in stopping me crashing to the tarmac in loads of plastic and expensive bits of carbon fibre, steel, magnesium, aluminium, whatever else the Rivale was made out of. But yeah, second good race, enjoyable race. It was fun. No stupid crashes, which is surprising. We did go testing / have a little tilt at the leaderboards, and we ended up with a 126.8, which was okay. It wasn't quite as fast as I was hoping it would be, and we're just a tenth and a bit away from the top spot. But I think that those two bikes above the Rivale are probably a little bit more suited to the high-speed nature of that track. Last one then, we went to Alton Park, we went to Ireland, we were on the Ireland circuit, one of my favourite ones, apart from the lack of a braking marker into the actual hairpin that makes it the Ireland circuit. We got a much better start. The Rivale does launch very well, much better than R7s and RC45s. First corner, always dodgy, people falling left, right and centre. Try not to go too far to the outside, otherwise you'll get wrapped up in their carnage. And then it was a case of hanging on for dear life and forcing the bike to do what we wanted. And we didn't really muck about with the setup too much, and the setup we ended up with, I think it works pretty much everywhere. It works at Kanto, it's good on the brakes. I mean, ooh, that is an Aprilia. Is that a Gen 2? That was a Gen 2 Aprilia Mille 1000. I quite like them. But anyway, we digress. We ended up working on a setup that works everywhere. It works at Kanto, it works at Alton, it works at Okayama. The only thing the bike, like I say, was lacking was a bit of top end. Although watch out over the bumps down here. We're on the bumps, we're on the brakes, and they're just the way that it allows you to just lever it to the inside. It will change direction on the throttle and the brakes and with steering input as well. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the exhaust flashes on the R1, but that was quicker than I thought it was going to be. But then again, it is an R1, so it should be, what, 170 odd horsepower, which is a little bit more than our little Rivale came out the factory with. But we did run away and hide. We didn't get very far because the R1 was much quicker than, like I say, I anticipated. But yeah, all in all, I've really enjoyed riding this little MV. We've not touched the game for the best part of 3 weeks because I haven't had anything to record anything with, so I felt very rusty digging. This footage was on my laptop, and the Street Fighter footage, the Ducati Street Fighter footage, which we're going to do next, was saved on my laptop. I managed to recover that, but the hard drive stuff, 2 terabytes worth, got into the wind. We did go testing with the 117.8, which surprisingly for that class of motorcycle put us top, almost 6/10 as well. So there's a fair bit of meat on the bone there. If you're half decent around Alton Island, get on the 700 to 799 bandwagon. Come and join me, we'll have a bit of fun. Setup wise, that's where we ended up. So as always, it's a 2 and 8, and then I will tweak it depending on what the tyres are saying to me, or whether the bike's stepping out on the gas, or it's mucking about on the brakes. Traction control wise, you can run 0 if you want, but I personally would run it on 1 if you're not quite sure. It'll just give you a little bit more control. Pros and cons, it handles very well, it's very adaptable, the noise is amazing. Cons, it's got low top speed, it's hard to extract the maximum potential. The bike, if you go 1 click too hard on the rear, it'll muck about. And the looks are, well, they're interesting, aren't they? They are not, well, they're not to everyone's taste. I think it's one of those bikes that will age well, but I don't think a lot of people will say that it's beautiful. The Brutale, I think, is much better. But there you go. Channel wise, well, I had 2 and a bit, 3 weeks off, didn't really do any videos, so we're going to make some changes. I'm going to do a few more other games. I'm still going to do the ride stuff, but just not necessarily every day. I'm just too busy at work, and the Christmas period's coming up. I'm going to be all over the shop, so bear with me. We'll get it sorted out, and we'll reattack it again in the new year, and we'll get loads more content done. So thank you, thanks for watching, commenting, liking, subscribing, and fingers crossed I will see you next time. Take care, stay safe, peace.